instructor, your favorite producer. I am Kris KeyZ, and I am excited to be showing you how to start hip hop drums today. If you always wanted to wonder, like, how do I get started making some hip hop beats? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's not as complicated as you might think. And I've pulled up a track already, a new session, and I've kind of preloaded 3 main sounds that you're going to need: a kick drum, a snare, and a hi-hat. Now, for each drum, you're going to have different kind of sounds. Now, for hip hop drums, you're going to have more of a sample sounding drum, or of a 808 sounding drum, where if you're doing more pop or let's just say more country or something, you might have more live sounding drums. So that's the difference. Number one thing you want to think about and recognize when you're creating, if you are creating for a specific genre or for an artist, what genre are they using? And kind of, you can think outside the box. There are no rules, but, kind of stick to the sounds and the frequencies that are already given to you and kind of people's ears are familiar, want to hear and listen to when they listen to that genre. So today, we're going to specifically talk about how to start and create hip hop drums. All right, step number 1 is, like I said, to pull up your tracks. I have a kick drum or some kicks, and I have some snares and hi-hats. Now, once you start getting more, familiar with your DAW and start creating a little bit more, start experimenting and create, however you want to create. But to start with, the easiest way that I think to start is your hi-hat. So I'm gonna actually move this track to the top so it doesn't confuse you. But I'm gonna start with a hi-hat, and what we're gonna do is just play regular 16 notes. It's the easiest way to start. Trust me. Let's press our R for record. Okay, very nice. So I'll take that and quantize. I'll go to 1/16 notes. And if I'm moving too fast, be sure to check out some of my other courses and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. But I'll quantize that, and since I want to do, let's just do a 8-bar loop. I could drag and loop this here and press Control L as well as Command J. Now next, we want to make sure this is the kind of tempo we want. I think I'm going to speed it up to 135 sounds good. Let's add a snare. So what I did right then is just add a snare to, I'll zoom in, just wanted to add it to the middle of each note. It's on the third, 1.3, 2.3, 3.3, and you guessed it, 4.3. And like I said, you can add more kind of grace notes and all the extra stuff later. But for the first part, if you just want to start learning how to create a hip hop beat, this is the easiest way to do it. We're going to start with a hi-hat and then a snare. Let's play it back and see what we have. And that's what they do on hip hop a little bit. You see that extra little note that I put in there on the what's that? The 4 point. I'll actually scroll in here. This extra note right here. That's a common thing that you see in a lot of hip hop beats. That extra little kind of pickup note. So I added that at the end of my fourth bar. And that's something you can do kind of at the end of every 4 bars. You don't want to do it too much or too stagnant, but it just is a little extra piece of ear candy for your listeners. So next, we can go to our kick drum and find the kick. I do like some of these subs. And the thing about hip hop, sometimes the beats sound overcomplicated, but the best hip hop beats, or to me, the best way to make the beats is that, and that's what we're talking about, is to not do too much. Less is more. And you got to remember, if you're having an artist rap on your beats or sing on your beats, remember the artist and their vocals, that's another instrument as well. So if you're adding all of this extra stuff in your beat, and I know it sounds good and maybe really dope for a beat battle or instrumental, but for an artist, they might even like the beat, but when they start writing to it and try to add their voice and their instrument, man, it's just like, oh, they can't really curate around it because it's too much in the beat. So remember, less is more, especially when it comes to your kick drum and the pre-production. And once the artist records, you can always come back and add more to it, and that's called post-production, which I have courses talking about that as well. So for now, we'll add a kick drum. I kind of like these 808s. Let's try these 808s and see if we come up with something nice. One more time. 1, 2, 3. I thought I had an 8-bar loop, but I had the 4-bar on, so I'll just quantize that, and then I'll just come over here and do an extra last 4 bars, something a little bit different. Pick up right here. See how that sounds, the last 4 bars. All right, very nice. So let's just join all of these together. Right click, press join, and go up here and quantize, which it is already. So let's hear what we got. Let me start back at the top. Okay, so I do know I want to spice up my hi-hats just a little bit right now. I'm not going to do too much. But as you can see, these little basic fundamentals, just a regular hi-hat, just a regular snare, and a simple kick can go a long way and spice up your production without trying to do too much and all of these flams and drum rolls and all of that. All of that is good, but I'm telling you guys, if you want to get more placements, if you want to make more money and sell more beats to these artists out here, do less. Less is more. So I will go in here and show you how to spice up your hi-hats a little bit as a bonus tip. What I like to do is to go into double click, say, on your hi-hats, and let's play it. So if I just want to add a couple little rows, there's a few ways to do it, but one way to do it is I can go up here and change from 1/16, and let's just say I want to add some rows in here. Right. So I just want to add some rows right here. So I can go to my hotkey, Option Command, and cut. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's say I want to cut this one. Okay. So you see that cut right there makes those cuts go into like 64 uh, time instead of 16th notes. So if I want to do a triplet at the end of, say, this 4 bars right here, I could just go and change that to a triplet format and just manually go in and move that right there. So let's see what this sounds like now. So you see, you can go in and tweak your hi-hats, and you can have a lot of fun going here and tweaking your hi-hats. But even with something like this, you don't want to do too much because, once again, less is more. So what I'm going to do now is just cut this at 5 and repeat the hi-hats twice. And join. Let's hear what we got back. All right, so there you go. I mean, I'll go in and let's quantize our kick drum. And that's the easy way to start that. And as a bonus, another bonus, all you have to do now is just go in and you can start building your track with melodies. And not saying your drums are finished, but this will give me some type of vibe and direction. So if I was just to pull up, let's just say, if we would have go into Logic here, and if we can find some instruments that I do have downloaded. Excuse me for not having everything downloaded. Let's just pull up an old piano. I feel like a piano is always something to start with. All right. So now that we have Logic pianos pulled up, let's play around and see if we can come up with some melodies. Hey. Move these back a little bit. I like it being off a little bit, but I got a little carried away on the pitch, so I'm just going to move some of these on a little bit, and then you can also remember nudge a little bit. And if you don't know some of these hotkeys, be sure to check out some of my other courses, and I tell you guys how to do all of these tricks and stuff and little stuff that I'm doing. Here we go. Actually right on. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that's a cool melody right there. So yeah, I like that a lot. And like I said, you can easily build on, and basically the piano inspiration came from the drums. And that's the easy way to get things started. But it starts with a simple pattern. It starts with the hi-hat on 16th notes. Start there. It doesn't matter what your tempo is. To start, just start with 16 notes. Remember, I started at 120. Once I recorded the 16 notes, I was feeling 130, 135. So I moved the tempo up. And then from there, I just added in an easy, simple snare drum pattern on 2 and 4. And since I was doing hip hop, remember, I add that extra little ear candy snare drum pop in there. And then from there, you go on to add a simple kick drum or 808 pattern that just gives it a vibe. And sometimes you might not even want to add the 808 or the kick drum until you add your melody. And from after that, you just want to add a melody. But mostly important, remember, producers, when you are producing, remember to leave room for the artist. Their vocals is an instrument. And if you do too much, they will not be able to be inspired and create and write around the same ideas of what you're thinking, you're hearing in your head. So leave room, leave space, and most important, you guys be safe, and can't wait for you guys to see my next video, my next tutorials. So hit the link below. Thank you guys so much for believing in me, respecting the energy and the effort that I do to give you guys information so you guys can go out here and elevate your minds and elevate your game and production skills so you can make these hits and be successful in the music industry. Until next time, y'all be safe. Peace.